All right, we're doing the mentor debriefing on lesson 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Standard 2.
Okay. So, your first piece of the standard in the learning differences was valuing students. I scored you at outstanding for that. It's pretty clear when you're talking to your students and interacting with them that not only for the one lesson, but it's built into your classroom as a whole. You know, that your kids feel safe in class. They feel like each of them matter. They are respected. You always say, like, thank you, or give compliments to them, and positive reinforcement to them. So the expectation of respect in your classroom is clear, and manners are modeled, so that hopefully then they're going to begin using them as well with their fellow classmates. So
I hope.
Who cares?
Yeah, the little guys.
So I have that there. The differentiated instruction. Well, so a lot of this was harder to place just because of, I think, the nature of the lesson too.
Yeah.
You know, like they were playing kind of a memory game. It was to build relationships in class with each other. Mm-hmm. But for that, like, there wasn't a lot of differentiation needed either. Yeah. So, but I put you at proficient, and said that teacher helps students to focus or refocus on what they're learning, and you redirect any students off task. You help them to have think time if they aren't ready for the content yet. We give them time to do partner talk so that they are able to, if they're not sure of what to do, and then they can have that time to, share with a partner or get ideas before having to speak about it on their own, which is helpful for their self-confidence and what they're doing in class. So,
sounds good. I'll try to build on this. It's something I'm working on too, but it's hard to show in a lesson too. Like, because sometimes I'll have an idea of how I'm going to do it, but you can't show the idea.
Right.
It's hard.
Well, and I think part of what you're doing, like having the kids turn and talk to each other and giving them a question and such, like those things are differentiating a little bit just because it gives them time to process it on their own first or with a partner, which is really helpful to them. Yeah. So there are, things that are going on. Like I said, it's just sometimes just the nature of a lesson in general doesn't show everything. I totally agree. But it doesn't mean that it's not going on.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. And then students with learning differences or needs. Your kiddos in class. I feel like you're really consistent in making appropriate accommodations because, especially in kinder, your kids can be at the drop of a hat, off task or saying random things, and so, but you're really good at redirecting what they're doing. And so even though you don't have kids that are have major learning difficulties or anything like that, it's still everybody is oh, squirrel kind of, just because of their age. Yeah. So I think that you working with all of the kids is kind of in this category of they all have learning differences because they're learning how to learn, how to sit, how to behave, how to, that kind of thing. And I think on the spot, you make accommodations for them. If Daniel is flopping down and laying down, it's okay, come on, sit up. Okay, match me. Okay. And you help them to right then be right with the rest of the class. Okay, so I feel like that's appropriate for the age level that we're, dealing with. Yeah. And then multiple perspectives. I also gave you an outstanding on that. I feel like having the students give input on what they think, even if it's something that isn't the greatest answer at the time, you give them value in what they have to say, and you respect what they have to say, and they feel confident in that. I feel like it's funny because they discussed safety so much.
Yeah,
it's obviously very.
We hit that hard at the beginning, and they really remember.
Which is good.
Yeah.
It's really clear that you discuss that in class a lot, and that's what 5-year-olds need, you know, to like be good members of school next year and the year after, you know, and setting that foundation for that. So
well, it'll even happen like when we're not doing. I hit it so hard. Like we were doing this rhyming game, and it was something where this lady was on a surfboard, and somebody, you know, raises their hand, and I'm like, oh yeah, and they're like, that's not safe. She doesn't have a helmet on or something. And I was like, yeah, she doesn't have a helmet on.
Perfect.
How dare she? Yeah, it was really funny. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so that's pretty good.
They're funny about it.
Oh man. And then English language learners, I put proficient. You use appropriate strategies. Like the partner talk is really good for EL students so that they have time to talk. I was just like something you could use more, like visuals, which I know you use, but in this lesson,
I put that in my reflection too when I was thinking about it. That I could have like held up a card or something to show what we were doing. And then another thing I was thinking that I could do in the future is like if it's something that's a little bit more new to them, I could have the EL students like learn it beforehand and then teach the rest of us.
Oh yeah,
because then it would be like those peer modeling kinds of things.
Absolutely.
And then they could feel like they are kind of like ahead of the game, and sometimes I feel like they feel like they're, you know, the last to kind of understand what's going on, you know, so then they would be able to share with the class. I thought that like, because I was thinking about we could do another game like that, and they could totally teach us it. That would be really fun. Yeah.
So overall, I thought it was totally age appropriate.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'll build on the differentiation and thank you for the floors. I can't think of anything else really that I was going to ask you about or talk about. This was kind of a hard standard to show, especially with like little guys, and I thought that the listening game would help because we've been trying to build, because the classroom, we've got a really good system and like, you know, management's good. It's now building those relationships, I think, in that culture around like us listening to each other and stuff, because they're really good at listening to me, but I want them to listen to each other, and like, so that's where we're kind of at. So I thought that would kind of show with this standard, but it is a hard one.
Yeah, it is. And so we're moving to learning environments.
So next week, I was telling you, I'm going to film tomorrow, and I think that because this is like talking about like, families and stuff, we've been working with families in the classroom to have them helping like at home more, like doing little reading logs and those kinds of things so they can get kind of prepared for homework, but then just building those bonds, you know, around schoolwork that's like a positive experience. Right. So that hopefully if it becomes, you know, negative down, because I know homework's hard. I remember homework being hard for myself as a kid. But hopefully that can like help a solid foundation. So I was thinking, we've been doing the show and tell. I was kind of telling you about that, and we would do show and tell, and I would have the kids focus more on like what the letter of the object is, and like hopefully it would be one of the letters that we've already covered, and we could kind of incorporate that into the lesson and talk about the sound, and if a parent wants to stay too, I was going to invite them to stay and help us with that. So that's kind of where I was thinking I would go with that standard. Yeah. Okay. All right. I think that's it.
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.